So, Kate is our narrator, and we get a flashback. So, Kate is thrust into this nightmare scenario where she's diving to the bottom of freezing water somewhere in the Arctic or somewhere to get a key to uncuff her ankles, and then escape said water, but can't, and then figures out she has to break ice with said handcuffs, which is crazy and almost impossible if said ice is so thick.
Icy water!
Unbelievable.
And hypothermia is kicking in, but hey, crazy comic book intro, fine, we'll let it go. I'm just curious how many students this insane guy goes through a year, like, oh, well, there goes another drowner. We then get a flashback of Batman supposedly saving a young Kate Kane, her sister, and her mom in a car, which gets hit by a school bus, but he didn't fully do the job as the car is dangling from one of Batman's cables over a bridge, and then the car falls. So Kate hates Batman. This says more about Batman than Kate. Did Batman give up crime fighting because he made too many mistakes? What was so important between a car and a school bus that Batman didn't try and save the people in the car? Was the school bus dangling from the bridge as well? This seems to be a rather poignant memory. Simple first question to ask is, what does swimming in freezing water have to do with fighting crime? Maybe some psychological discipline in near-death scenarios, but certainly not fighting criminals. What exactly is she training for here? Sure, she's got military training, but that's not even close to Batman level. We need to see Kate fight. And the second question is, does Kate hate Batman? Because that could in fact work. She would feel like she could do a better job since Batman didn't completely save her family. Hopefully we'll see more of this later.
Tomorrow, find faster.
Oh, Canada, who is this crazy Inuit and what have you done to him?
Batman mysteriously disappeared. It divided the city.
Yeah, and you hate Batman because he didn't save your mom and your sister's life, right? Right? Can the narrative please make that clear, since you are the narrator?
I thought he abandoned Gotham for the same reason he abandoned my family. Because he didn't care.
Okay, so he tried to save your mom and sis, didn't do a complete job. I mean, if he wasn't there at all, everyone would have died, including you. I mean, we don't understand what happened exactly, and hopefully this will be a sticking point for Kate's development and her reason for hating Batman. So there's a gala for raising money for the Crows, a private police force to finally turn off the bat signal after 3 years. Wow, the entire city was pining for Batman for 3 years. This dude gets a knife thrown at him, looks pretty lethal, as does the second guy, but his head flies back. Why? Wouldn't you look down upon the knife in your chest, which is implying it's in your heart? What force causes one's head to fly back with a knife thrown into your chest? Was the air pressure from the knife causing your head to fly back? That knife has some really horrible aerodynamics maybe, and it probably would have ripped through or at least burrowed into the chest if it was that powerful. So cop on roof chases down masked dude guy on roof. They scuffle, and then cop decides to pull a gun and shoot him twice point blank. So he's dead. Not sure what took so long to pull a gun, but necessary force after being displayed. Okay, I can take that. Suddenly, a second assailant attacks Agent Moore. She's punching and stabbing him, and he somehow manages to throw her off the building, upon which there is a group of people with a tarp all ready to catch her and put her in a van. Was this the plan? To get one guy killed, another guy punched and stabbed? What if she just ran away or shot the two guys? You have all this manpower on the ground with a tarp. Wouldn't it have been easier to go into the building? Maybe with 2 more guys, or maybe 5 other guys? How about some chloroform or a taser or something? No, we'll just, okay, well, it's too bad about those 2 sacrificial lambs who got shot and stabbed. Great plan there, villains.
Do you not know what death is? I totally know what it is.
Did the stabbed guy get caught? See, this is where we need to explain the mentality of the henchmen. Are they drugged up? Are they brainwashed? What would cause them to do such a thing and behave such a way? We don't get any of that. And let's appreciate the fall. It just seems she fell because story. And her back is, of course, totally fine. Okay, that might have killed her. Board to the head, number 1. Tell us, in northern Canada, where would we be without that coverage?
Away from Tannery Road.
Sophie's missing. They think someone took her. I thought you should know.
Okay, so how does Mary know Sophie? I mean, Kate's known Mary for 10 years. They're stepsisters, but how about Sophie? Hey, Mary, I used to have a lesbian girlfriend in the military whom I got caught having a fling with, and now I'm discharged. Her name was Sophie. Flashback of her kissing Sophie.
I'd spent years traveling the world, training with combat and survivalist specialists so I could join the Crows.
1. Why do you need to train with survival specialists to join the Crows? A private police force, not some military force. 2. Weren't you the best in your class before you got kicked out? Wouldn't you just need one interview where you kick the crap out of everyone? 3. Isn't your dad in charge? I mean, hey dad, I'm awesome, so can I join the team? Oh, no. You have to go to Canada and swim under freezing water with a crazy Inuit man first. Oh, okay, dad. What the hell did Sophie have to do to join the Crows in her case? Resign from like SEAL Team 6? Or 4, there's a rule in storytelling called show, don't tell. If you wanted to show us you being a badass, fighting would do it. Swimming under freezing water, that's kind of silly.
Sophie's disappearance brought me home early. I had to find her.
Yeah, thanks, Kate. We kind of figured that out.
Where are we on surveillance?
Afraid it doesn't exist, sir.
Really? None? Even those screens you have up on the ceiling? Does no one have any other cameras in the city aside from the Crows? Is this the wrong set of cameras pointing at the wrong building?
I didn't add cream, but please tell me you kicked that vegan thing, huh?
Ever notice how lots of intersectional feminists are also vegan and progressive and impossible to communicate with? Also, I think the father is becoming the worst character, not necessarily due to acting or its portrayal or his written lines of dialogue. I just don't understand what he's saying. Please tell me you kicked that vegan thing off. What? And the credits are still rolling. Thanks, writer.
We're gonna find her.
Then let me help.
Neck tattoo, that's new.
I don't see a neck tattoo, so I'm guessing he's joking, or is he just dodging the question?
Do you know who took her?
Ruthless, spineless maniacs who frankly don't stand a chance against a team of ex-Navy SEALs and Green Berets.
Okay, that establishes how good the Crows are. So how did Sophie lose against those two schmucks?
You're female Bruce Wayne. But unlike him, you actually have a shot at making something of your life.
Alright, what did Bruce Wayne do or not do with his billions of bucks? Or his life? His company didn't create industry and give people jobs? He didn't invest in anything? Really? Wayne Enterprises did nothing for the people of Gotham, even stockbrokers who held his money and were buying and selling and whatever investments he made. Bruce Wayne just let it all slide previous to his disappearance. Wow. Bruce Wayne is a horrible guy because story.
Bruce was the one person who was actually there for me after Mom and Beth died.
Okay, so she likes Bruce but dislikes Batman. When it gets revealed to her, there should be some good conflict there. Okay.
It's great to see you, but I gotta take this call.
There's clearly no phone call. He's obviously dodging the issue. This is sort of a good sticking point with the father. It's just his delivery. He just does not come across as a dad. There's something wrong with the actor. I don't know why. It's nothing personal. It just doesn't sound right to me.
Facing school property. Why not?
Okay, two lesbians marking their initials in American military school structure. Clearly Batman material.
I had to find her, the heart of Gotham, which just happened to have eyes all over the city.
How does she know Wayne Enterprises has eyes all over the city? Why didn't she tell her dad that? Wouldn't a private police organization be aware of other organizations with surveillance cameras, especially in downtown Gotham? Real crack team of investigators you got there, Crows. So Kate scales, I guess, 2 stories worth of the Wayne Enterprises building. We then hear an audio flashback of Kate being in Bruce's office before. Okay.
Bruce isn't in his office. Come on. Kate, we're not supposed to be in here.
And then she gets spotted by Fox and steals a paperclip.
I practically grew up here.
You grew up in an office building. Okay.
Middle name?
Trick question, doesn't have one.
Favorite soup?
I don't even have a favorite soup. What kind of question is this? So somehow Kate is able to unlock the handcuffs because survival training? Maybe if she went to a thief or a magician training thing instead of an Inuit, we would have some insight into her abilities. But yeah, she can just pick locks. Okay.
Password still Alfred?
Sure, that would totally happen after 3 years or more of a security system in a downtown business building. There's no operating system upgrades, no monthly or yearly changes to a company's security software passwords. It just wouldn't happen. Then we have the CSI effect of camera surveillance. It's always a fun thing on TV. Oh, and she just had a USB flash drive just lying around, and there's a port just lying on the desk, just 3 years, 20 years, USB is forever, I guess. What's a hard drive? What are specific folder and file locations? What are specific dated video files? Like, he also has enough time to locate said files, small enough to fit said files on a USB drive. Yeah, Kate just knows operating systems and security systems and file systems like it was 15 years ago, because technology, that never changes. And Kate also studied with the guys who developed Windows Vista, right?
Hey, you can just see the relation now.
You have one free arm. Your ranged taser gun is seen on screen in its holster. Kate stood still 2 meters from you. Did you suddenly forget what a security guard does?
Dad, I think I found something.
So all kinds of people were waiting for her to come to her dad's place? When did they plan this surprise party? How long were they in the dark? How many friends does she have? Why didn't Kate go visit her dad at work? Why didn't she simply call her dad? Why did she potentially waste time and gas to meet him at home, possibly? Didn't the dad say that Sophie wouldn't sleep until she found one of their own?
If it were any one of you, Agent Moore would not sleep until you were found.
I guess the dad wouldn't? Ouch. So, who are these people? What's going on here?
Where's my dad?
No idea.
Why did you call me?
I may have found a box of pictures in your closet when I was borrowing your Balenciaga
You know what,
tee.
never mind.
So the question I asked earlier about how Mary knew about Sophie has been answered. Not because Mary and Kate talked, but because Mary snuck into Kate's belongings, saw a 15-year-old photo of a young Sophie, then met the real Sophie supposedly through her stepdad. And this was reason for her to call Kate. Really?
I hope you don't mind my making you the center of attention tonight.
2 people have come to talk to Kate, including her. What is going on? Do these people even know or care who Kate is?
Let's make sure we're posting happy photos to our social media accounts. If we feel safe, then our clients feel safe.
Wait, so this isn't a homecoming party for Kate? Why did they surprise her then? What's going on here?
Movie in the Park is Friday, and it's Gotham's first public event in 3 years.
3 years. No public events in the city. What the hell was the city council doing all this time? Why is there a photo of Sophie and Kate's dad on a board? Who is this party for? I don't get it.
You signed it.
I don't get the music. What is going on?
Okay, I want to be here.
But they don't want you.
Yeah, they do. They're the military. They trained you for years. Of course they want you. They would have kicked you out before if you weren't really good for the job. In this case, Sophie signed a deal because she didn't want to cause any problems, and they had 1 week left to graduate. Why would she throw that all away? I believe in the comic Kate tells the truth because that's what she was trained to do. She's the number 1 top of her class. Don't ask, don't tell doesn't really mean anything to her, which would make her a rather noble or honorable character when she's discharged because of her behavior. But instead of it being about Kate being a truthful person and being the best soldier she could be because she was trained to be honest, it's about her being offended of what other people think of her.
They don't want you.
I don't have the luxury of being offended by that.
We can't admire her as a noble and tragic character because there is no nobility. The virtue of being honest with oneself, or potentially the best in her class, really means nothing. It's all about her being offended because she's different.
Dad, I have something.
Okay, so he's still working at a party we're not sure who is it for. Okay, I guess he just really likes champagne on the job. Okay, let's go with that.
Where'd you get this?
Wayne's camera feed isn't on the Pros Network.
Wayne's defunct.
How is Wayne Enterprises defunct when it owns property downtown, is powered, has a light security, and has been as such for years? Who's paying the bills here? What, you couldn't drive by the giant building downtown and see all the lights on? You know, the building apparently across the street from where the gala was, where Sophie was thrown off a roof? Even if it was defunct, wouldn't you have still contacted every building on the street, like the biggest one in front, to make sure they didn't have any security feeds?
What?
Wait, what does that paddle say?
And here we have the other CSI effect of the zoom in. It's always fun. And apparently Kate has zoom in vision as well to be able to see a paddle in the evening in the dark that has words on it. Very cool there, Katie.
their creepy disciplinary motto.
Whose motto?
Burnside Orphanage. That's where they are.
I find your argument strewn with gaping defects in logic.
No, that's a paddle potentially from that orphanage, or a person who used to go to that orphanage, or maybe they stole the paddle or threw the paddle away and someone else picked it up, or any other normal deduction we're not privy to because they never bothered to answer those questions. Why would you deduce a criminal organization is squatting in an orphanage? Why wouldn't they be at a rundown sports shop or maybe a garbage dump where a paddle might be placed? Kate, maybe detectiving isn't your bag of tricks yet. Oh wait, this story just sucks.
I'm the world's greatest detective.
Kate.
Yeah, but Kate don't take no orders from no man, like her dad apparently, even though she was trying to become a crow all this time. What is going on with this story? What is Kate's plot now? Her girlfriend from a long time ago gets captured, everything else doesn't matter? Okay. So she just walks into the orphanage. No back way entry point of getting under something. She just walks right in. Maybe a flashback as a kid, there was a secret entrance or something. Nope, just straight up front door. Great plan.
My spider senses are starting to tingle.
So assailant with a pipe somehow hits other pipe, causing steam to attack his face. Sure. Kate then overpowers another guy because story. Oh, and her spider senses have now disappeared. Must be a focus thing, that she had some sort of training where she could sense people attacking her from behind. Like there was like a flashback of that, kung fu scenario. We literally have no idea where her superpowers are coming from here. I actually like her use of the elbow here because these guys are wearing somewhat thicker masks and using your elbow in a street fight is kind of smart. So it makes sense to use that. Plus, Kate punching just wouldn't work. It just would not look good. She wouldn't do much damage with her fist because it's Ruby Rose. So, elbowing good. There's plank hit number 2 and Kate is down.
I thought you'd been sent away, but now you seem to be here.
Ah, so the villain knows who Kate is. That's cool.
I took Sophie because she'll actually get his attention. Your father doesn't want you, Kate. He shipped you away, and I assumed you knew.
This is actually okay. The villain is attempting to attack Kate's sense of family or love of her father toward her, that he prefers Sophie. It's a good shot. The problem is we don't know if Kate actually cares about her dad's love yet or anything in relation to that. It was never really established. Now, it's assumed he loves Kate, that's a given, being a dad, but does Kate actually care? You see, an attack from a villain or rival works when it's known to the audience we know that's one of the protagonist's flaws. Kate, in this case, just wants Sophie and pretty much abandon her dad as quickly as possible. And there we have paddle hit number 3. That's right to the skull, possibly the temple. That's 2 hits to Kate so far. Probably would have killed her, or at least given her a really nasty concussion, if she wasn't already concussed.
Hi, and don't kill me.
So Mary's a surgeon.
Just a surgeon?
That goofy girl taking selfies is a surgeon. Really. And Kate doesn't have any scarring, or bruises, or blood, or anything surrounding or near her face or skull. She doesn't have a concussion, but she did get cut on her left shoulder. That's interesting. So cuts, those are okay. But I guess paddle or plank attacks just knock you out and no one cares. Your skin, the story, doesn't matter. It's just a scene transition, folks.
This is my humble little illegal clinic.
Okay, would you really want to tell Kate all this? I mean, wouldn't you just go tell her dad? Is this place just as good as a normal hospital? Obviously, she's not contacting the police because they're ineffective, and hence the crows, yada yada, whole plot line. But I guess conks on the head is how you get from scene to scene now with no lasting effects. So conk on head, next scene, Hey, that useless girl is now a student in med school playing doctor. Okay. Don't need to go to a real hospital because I got an underground one. Alright, fine. Kate could have, I don't know, permanent brain damage. But okay, you couldn't tell if you looked.
You are not listening. You ran into an unknown terrorist cell without proper backup.
Or if you just stayed for 2 seconds, you could have gone with everyone else.
When you see Beth, you see Mom. And instead of dealing with it, you spent the last 15 years pushing me away.
This is fine. It's not great, but it's just basic drama, really. There's miscommunication, there's assumptions being made. This happens a lot in stories. It's fine. The dad just comes across oddly, and Ruby Rose's acting is not fantastic, so it's just a weird scene. So anyway, we're back downtown at Wayne Enterprises.
Hey, how did you even get it?
I know you know where... Someone moved that.
Yeah, the whole room has been covered in mothballs. I'm sure stuff has been moved. So Bruce kept his mom's pearls at the Wayne Enterprises offices downtown, including having a Batcave downtown. Maybe he has multiple caves. But why would you keep a family heirloom at work? The thing Bruce is almost never doing, working since he's too busy being, Batman. And Fox isn't trying to stop her at all. Why? Does he see Bruce in her? Does he want another Bruce? Can Fox get involved in the narrative here somewhere, story, please? Give us some conflict with Kate aside from physical? Because if not, he's just an ineffective set dressing piece.
You don't want to do that. I mean, it looks really old. Probably not even up to code.
Yeah, so tell us, Fox, why is the power to the Batcave elevator working in a semi-abandoned building? Did you just keep the lights on all day for 3 years? I mean, who's paying the electrical bill? Did opening the door turn on the power? So that was a quick trip down. The view from the windows is clearly high up, so Fox is scrambling to get to the Batcave in some other fashion, which also implies Kate knew to take an elevator up, and she had full clearance to do so. Maybe the building has non-security functioning elevators. Who knows? So there are literal bats in the Batcave downtown Gotham. That's kind of new. I thought this was just on the Wayne estate, but okay. Downtown Gotham has literal bat caves. Never mind sewers. We just sort of dug our elevator shaft straight down and kept going. Bit of a stretch, but okay, show, we'll go with that. It's possible. Mr. Wayne, we have a literal bat cave in the basement. I mean, we totally missed it when we were laying foundation and digging into the ground. Oh, what a coincidence. I could totally use that. Or did he, import his bats into his makeshift bat cave downtown? What happened there, Bruce? Kind of interesting how I'm more interested in the Bruce Wayne of this story than the main character of this story. So, the bats are just really happy to see her? How is this scene even happening? Are they anointing her with the next Batman? I don't, if they're vampire bats, I guess you could say the whole Spider-Man man-bat thing, she gets bitten, and then now she's going to become the man-bat. As opposed to just the bats being attracted to all the lights that came on because, they're nocturnal creatures, but okay. Fly around the lady, sure.
Bruce Wayne is Batman.
With boobs. Now, here would be a great scene where we see Kate come to terms with hating Batman over the death of her mom and possibly hating Bruce despite caring about him as a family member. Or perhaps the opposite. Right, story? That would be cool. So Batman has a bulletin board of old newspaper clippings. One of them just so happens to have Kate's family's death posted at eye level.
He spent years trying to figure out what went wrong that day.
Oh, so is Batman all cool now because he was trying to figure out why his cable snapped for years? This is how you potentially have interesting conflict with the protagonist story?
He was so sure he secured the car.
Why didn't he simply pull the car up? Why didn't he help them out of the car? Was this so complicated for the greatest detective in the world? What's to figure out here? The only thing the story is showing us is Batman is kind of silly.
The steel in the trunk still ripped away.
I couldn't quite hear what she said, but I think it was that the trunk was ripped away from the car.
I grew up thinking that Batman cared more about getting the bad guy than the lives of innocent people.
Yeah, so did we. I guess he didn't think the hinge of a trunk of a car couldn't support the force of the 2-ton weight of the car. Wow, how did he not see that coming? And would it have been so bad to give the rope some decent yanks or use a grapple gun to pull it in like, I don't know, 2 feet? That would have done the job.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be when it fits.
And why would Kate assume that 1, Fox can somehow do all this for her, 2, Fox will do this for her? They have no relationship. He wants her gone. He doesn't actually like her.
Mary.
Oh, I guess Batman just likes cell tower signals going through his lair. Underground, downtown. You know how hard it is to get a signal downtown in any city? In some cases when you're surrounded by huge buildings? But hey, underground in a literal Batcave, no problem. I'm sure whatever carrier could support several dozen feet beneath the surface of the Earth has no problem penetrating solid rock.
We found one of Alice's guys. I think I know where they took Sophie.
So now Instagram med student girl has advanced the story for us, and here's hoping she told her stepdad too. The pacing here has to be fast because we only have about 42 minutes. So it's a movie in the park, and they're playing, oh, The Mask of Zorro it looks like, which is going to give Frank Miller's Batman a panic attack. But screw that, this isn't Frank Miller's Batman. Bruce isn't here anymore, so blah. So Dodgson is working for Alice, romantically involved too, and wow, they really have Sophie tied up not so well in a building across from the park. Just one guy covering a semi-built building that's, 10 stories from this angle? And at least 25 stories from this angle. One guy covering a whole building. Fantastic.
Commander.
So Alice has a truck full of explosives, and Sophie's up on the semi-built building dangling, which apparently no one else has noticed. Yes, it's dark, but it's security. They'd be noticing stuff like this.
Why are you doing this?
Why is Raven like a writing desk?
Okay, how did Kate do that? Clearly that's CG, but this cable just suddenly coils around a guy, tightens around him, and then puts him on his back, and that's it. He's not knocked out. He just got tossed a bit. And he could easily escape by rolling. Again, how did Kate do this? In this case, the grappling hook would have teared the guy's jacket off. But how did Kate A, know how to do this, B, train to do this, C, had time to be learning all of Batman's gadgets? In an hour or two? Did it take such little time to modify the Batsuit for Kate as well? Really? Her frame and size compared to Bruce? Really? Okay. So then there's plank hit number 4. I mean, luckily the bat helmet defeats wooden planks. That's always nice. And you gotta wonder why she didn't fire one of her magical grappling guns that tie people up instantly. I mean, why fight? Just shoot that magical grappling gun thing. Just no problem. So thin woman punching Batwoman with a helmet on. Okay. These are 2 thin women trying to fight each other. One of them is in body armor. I don't know, it just doesn't really have much weight behind it. So Batwoman knocks the detonator away, jumps off the building with Sophie, and just falls. And crashes into what looks like a pile of garbage that also appears to be a bed from 10 to potentially 25 stories up. That was it. Just grab her and fall. No support, no cables, no safety at the bottom. I mean, these people should at least, at best, have multiple broken bones. Did she use up all her magic cables instantly, trying up those 2 guys? What kind of training did Kate have exactly? Learning how to fall out of buildings?
Not him.
Okay, she fell through the roof of a makeshift construction office room and just happened to have a bed there. She just busted through the roof, so would Sophie have just fallen onto the bed normally if Kate didn't catch her? I mean, she'd be bruised and possibly broken a few bones here and there, but it's not very threatening if her target was a bed where everyone's just okay. Oh, she does have more magic cables. Great. Why didn't she use them before?
Look, it's Batman!
So super zoom in night vision, spider sense, and she can fly. Wow.
Let's add listening to your already impressive list of skills.
Good morning, Gotham. Your girl Vesper Fairchild here.
Wow, she's talking about fiction that's not related to Trump. She's now being truthful with her fiction. Bravo, Rachel. Great career move.
What about the bat, sir?
Oh, come on. He gets the city all hot and bothered, and then thanks to a total lack of skill, he usually dies in some spectacular fashion.
If I go to sleep, I die.
Batman usually dies in some spectacular fashion due to his lack of skill.
Then I learned in the mountains.
Is Batman a Highlander?
Say something?
Not important, sir.
How about I broke my legs from falling, but yeah, I'm fine now.
Now I am that annoyingly overprotective husband.
This is perhaps the only dramatic twist in the story, if you can call this a twist. Sophie's bisexual, and she got married. Did anyone tell anyone else of her marital status over the years? Was it recent? And if not, then why not? Did this topic never come up? Wouldn't Mary have told Kate over the years, as she seems to like to talk to Kate about Sophie? Because Mary knows about Kate's past and is just a friendly stepsister. I think women would kind of want to talk about marriages. In case you haven't noticed, kind of a big thing with women. Wouldn't Kate's dad have also mentioned something like this, at least in passing? Like, hey, I'm going to go attend Sophie's wedding. I know you can't make it, but just want to tell you. Nothing? Really?
You're right. I never wanted you to be a crow.
My apologies to the male actor here. I just cannot believe this is her dad. Something's not jiving. I can't. There's something not working. I hope it's not just me. There's something wrong with this delivery of lines or the way he's talking. I don't get it.
I'm selfish and overly protective, and I'm terrified.
So you send her to a crazy Canadian Inuit man who throws your daughter into freezing water for survival training. Yeah, you're a great dad.
That I was running toward everything that didn't want me. A military academy.
Looks like the Batcave has a bunch of sticks in its center walkway. I guess Bruce liked to spruce things up. And why are you still whining about something that happened 15 years ago where you made out with a girl and should have said, no, yeah, we were just fooling around? Great motivation there, Kate. You want to know the story of the Batman and how he got motivated?
I spent 15 years searching for a place I fit, and I think I finally found it.
15 years. That's more training than what Batman got. Now, Batman had 12 years, obviously with better results and better masters, and I believe the comics had her doing training for something like 2 years. But that's comic book land. 15 years doing crazy survival training and God knows what else is a pretty long time. Are we going to have some sort of kung fu style flashbacks? Because I still think that's the way to go, to make us believe that Kate can do all these crazy things, like jumping from buildings.
Even for a minute there, Billy felt like he was home.
I'm guessing the sister is Alice, and Batman is obviously some ineffective detective. Because the story. And ironically enough, we find this out roughly 10 seconds later. Apparently, Alice adorns all her switchbladey knives with fake red jewels because why not? That's just her thing, you know? Did she raid an arts and crafts store and stole these little knickknacks? And of course, Kate just figures this out now because the big red jewel on the hilt of the knife was just so not noticeable when she first picked up the thing. So apparently Alice knows that Kate is Batwoman. I guess? How did she do this? When did she figure this out? Certainly not before she hit her with plank number 3. So that was the CW's Batwoman episode 1. The female cringe was brought down a few pegs, which is always good. But some really badly spoken dialogue, some poor acting, not only on Ruby's account, but especially the father and the Fox character. Pacing was okay, plot was good, it was there, it made sense, but they ruined the conflict of the loving Bruce hating Batman duology and just sort of showed Batman to be broken up over Kate's family's death instead of keeping it more of a mystery for Kate to discover. Having Kate become the Batman would have worked much better if she was fueled by her hatred over Batman for losing her family and making her become a better Batman or Batwoman in that whole process. But no, it's just all fine. Bruce is fine. Everything's great.